Askreddit Asks, people who've dated a psycho, what incident made you aware that you were dating a psycho?
One day I woke up to find all the men missing from my Facebook friends list, including cousins and uncles. My ex didn't think I'd notice.
Oh, so you noticed they were gone? Then you were paying attention to other men. I knew it.
Jesus. Talk about insecure.
We were riding the train home from a date. I look over and she's logging into her ex-boyfriend's Facebook account. I asked her what she was doing and she straight up told me that she was logging into her ex-boyfriend's Facebook account. When I asked why, she said, "I'm just checking up on him. I want to make sure he's okay. He never changed his password." Her checking up on him became reading through not just his statuses but also his private messages. I asked why she couldn't just look at his profile normally. She said he blocked me. When I asked why she couldn't just text him if it was that big of a deal, she said he blocked her number too. I had so many more questions, but she started getting pissed off and defensive and I still had a long train ride home. So I let it be.
Didn't really understand how unhealthy she was until after our breakup. She proceeded to key whore into the side of my car about a week later because she assumed I had already started seeing other women. She tracked down every single person I know on Facebook, including family members and the CEO of my company, to send them a fairly unflattering and risque picture. The picture also came with a page-long story of how I couldn't be trusted, as I'd beat her, raped her, stolen money from her, etc., had to get a restraining order and take her to court over trying to sabotage my life, career. It was super messed up and I genuinely hope she got some help. Thankfully, I haven't heard from her in almost 4 years. And I now live on the opposite side of the country.
I'm in med school and she threatened to stab my hand so that I could never do surgery in the future.
Hey, quick question, what the fuck?
Yeah, if you're in a serious relationship you shouldn't be allowed to surgery on other girls. We call that the Doctor Strange all seriousness. That's fucked up. Hope you got away from her.
I shaved my badge and he accused me of cheating because of it.
Mine accused me of cheating after I started plucking my eyebrows. He demanded to know who I needed my brows to look so good for, since he didn't care what they looked like.
Maybe not a psychopath but certainly a sociopath. So many little things to choose from. Here's one. In order to walk from the bedroom to the kitchen, I had to walk through the living room. This involved me walking in front of the TV. I had to walk in front of it to get to the kitchen. I always did it super quickly, but I always got screamed at. Sometimes I would have to wait 20 to 30 minutes before I was allowed to walk past. One day, while my husband was out, he's my ex-husband now, I decided to rotate the entire living room. I put the TV on a different wall and moved the couch so it faced the TV. Basically the living room was exactly the same, just rotated 90 degrees. The living room was a square so it functionally made no difference. Except now when I walked from the bedroom to the kitchen, I didn't have to walk between the couch and the TV. When my husband got home, he saw the living room, said nothing about it. We ate dinner and he watched TV as usual. Then we went to bed. The next morning he refused to get out of bed or talk to me. He refused to leave the house, go to class, go watch TV, anything. He would not say one word. I kept trying to get him to tell me what was wrong and he wouldn't. For 3 solid days he only got out of bed to grab food or use the restroom. He would not talk to me, would not make eye contact, or acknowledge my presence. I was panicking thinking he was having some sort of episode. It might seem obvious now but I had no clue what I had done wrong. At the end of 3 days he said he felt like I had adequately been punished for rearranging the living room without asking. He even told me to keep it that way. It made more sense and he liked it better like that. He still had to punish me for what I did though. Edit to answer some commonly asked questions. 1. Was he mentally ill? He was never diagnosed, but I would assume something was certainly wrong with him. 2. Did he have autism? No. I have a master's degree in special education and am trained to recognize it. I can see how it might appear that way from one story, but I can assure you that he did not have autism. 3. Why did you marry him? Stay? Did you know he was bonkers? There were hints he was a bit of a dick, but I had no idea how bad it was or would get. I had very low self-esteem and felt I deserved to be treated badly. 4. Don't you know it's a dick move to rearrange furniture without asking? I guess so. I didn't think about it. I most likely should have asked. I still do not think I deserved his reaction. I was just trying to problem solve and maybe didn't think it over as much as I should have. 5. Did you get out? Yes. I caught him cheating on me for the 7th time and he stopped letting me leave the house because he was afraid I would revenge cheat or leave him. One day we had no clean clothes, so I left to wash them at the laundromat. While I was gone, he called me and told me if I didn't come home he would leave the baby home alone. I rushed home. The next day I went to the laundromat and took the baby with me. He called and said if I didn't come home he would kill himself. I told him to go for it and hung up. Then I dialed 911 and had the police do a welfare check on him. He was arrested for warrants due to unpaid speeding tickets. While he was in jail I changed the locks and never let him back in. 6. Are you happy now? Yes. I'm remarried to a wonderful man. My daughter is 9 and very happy and healthy. She's smart and my husband treats her like his own child. 7. Why didn't you crawl across the floor to avoid walking in front of the TV? I was very pregnant. 8. Where is he now? He found another girl to mooch off of and abuse. Knocked her up too. She kicked him out and he couch surfed for a while before becoming homeless in Cleveland. 9. Does he have full custody of your daughter? No, I have sole custody and he wants nothing to do with her. He once told me he didn't want her unless he could have me too.
We are sitting at a restaurant. She ordered the chicken cordon bleu. And a side of fries. She barely has taken a couple bites and she slams a fry down on the plate. She pushes the whole thing away and states, "That's not ketchup, that's catsup," then proceeds to walk out the door.
I don't know why I laughed extra hard at this.
Do you think she was crazy or did she really just want to get out of that date?
Congratulations, friend. Your date was C. Montgomery Burns.
He'd get out his guns and, with the safety on, point 'em at me and go, bang. And when I jump, he'd laugh and say, "That'd be funny if the safety was off. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?" And then the next day he'd gaslight me and tell me he didn't do anything of the sort the night before. He was the king of gaslighting. It got to the point where I was seriously doubting my own sanity because he would deny everything.
Woke up one morning and she told me that she kept having dreams where I was dead. Then said the kicker. And I wake up happy. Engagement over shortly after that. Edit. Many people saying, that means she was happy you were alive. Duh. No. That's not what she meant.
WTF murder vibes. Might have literally dodged a bullet there.
My friend found a psycho. Met her at the bar and ended up taking her home. She decided it should be more than just a one-night stand and suggested a date the following weekend. He obliges. Their first date was meeting her parents, where she told them how they were going to spend the rest of their lives together, where they were going to buy a house, the names of their 2 children, etc. etc. He dated her for about a month and after they broke up, she started stalking his friends. Not him. His friends. She'd somehow find out where we would be and threaten us with lawsuits for ruining her life.
Holy crap, imagine if you actually sue someone for emotional damages after a breakup. What a shitshow that would be.
The first date was meeting her parents. Nope.
I was dating a girl that demanded I call every day. She would hit me for sitting wrong. She once lashed out on me over a social media website that was popular in my country, Lunarstorm. You could see who went to look at you profile. She noticed that a lot of people from my hometown went to look at her profile. She was furious. She said that, "You should talk about me enough so that people aren't curious." When I said, "Wouldn't that make people more curious?" She lost it and screamed at me. She also screamed at me for telling other people that a family member of mine attempted suicide before I told her. She was hot, but crazy. I broke up with her, and for years later she would send me emails telling me I ruined her life. I met her on a train a couple of years later. She was with her new boyfriend. He looked like a whipped dog.
Went out to eat at Buffalo Wild Wings one night with a few friends, and I told her about this. See a couple of her friends come in and sit at a table near us, and they never ordered anything. They just drank water and sat there, occasionally glancing at us. After we're done eating, we walk outside, and sure enough I see my girlfriend's ex, now for obvious reasons, car in the parking lot. Her driver's seat was leaned all the way back, and I could just barely see that she was in the driver's seat trying to hide. So I'm already kinda weirded out at this point, so me and my friends leave, and as soon as we back out, sure enough her car starts and backs out as well. She began to follow us through the parking lot. At this point I'm texting her asking her what's going on, but she kept saying she was with her mum hanging out. Needless to say, I ended things shortly after that.
Convinced my entire friend group that I'm a sociopath and got addicted to cocaine right after breaking up with me. Also became a dealer and tried to get one of my friends addicted to crack cocaine for a bit of money. She also found out an autistic guy was in love with her, so she started flirting with him for his money, and now he can't pay for college.
That's fucked up.
Yup, but she's going to prison, so karma is a bitch, lol.
She was just manipulative. Should have listened to her friend who warned me not to date her. But I did, twice. Just all sorts of stupid shit to get me to buy her things. When I finally just closed her out of my life, she threatened to get her dad involved. She was in her mid-20s. Come on. Then she bragged about using me for money to mutual friends. I don't generally hold grudges. But for her, I made an exception.
Should have listened to her friend who warned me not to date her. When their friend is warning, that's a flashing neon red flag.
Kept talking on the phone and texting his mother during the date. She died years ago.
Oh, that's really rude. How could someone? Oh, that's one of the saddest things I've ever heard.
We were long distance. While visiting him, I found handwritten love letters that were verbatim what he had written me. Except different women's names on each one.
What a lazy bastard.
I was married to one. He said he was going to the woods to shoot himself. I called police. Told them I thought he was having a military PTSD event. They stopped him, took his gun, and informed me he was never in the military. 4 years into my marriage. WTF. I took photos of all the holes in my walls and got myself a restraining order and a divorce. Courts don't much appreciate stolen valor being your excuse for violence and emotional abuse, manipulation. Edit. Holy cannoli. I took a nap and woke up to more comments and upvotes than I've ever had, thanks X. I knew he was gonna be good for something. Edit 2. Thanks for the gold. How did it happen? My first hubby was a veteran and asked that we never discussed his service once he was out. We lived just off base. He was legit, so it wasn't odd to me. His brothers were career military and he claimed to be embarrassed for not being like them. So I never brought it up at family events, really. How rude would I have been if it was true? Closing parenthesis. He was a skilled con man. Gaslighter. An abuser. A fake. He did the same to his second wife, who also divorced his pathetic ass. For all those giving support, thanks, it was a long time ago and life is better. For all those with a similar experience, I send you virtual bear hugs.
My ex-girlfriend would wake up in the middle of the night and wake me up just to accuse me of cheating on her.
Let me guess. She had a dream about it. LMAO.
I had an ex do something similar. On a normal Tuesday night, he breaks into my apartment around 2300 because he's sure I'm cheating on him. I was fast asleep, alone.
The time she overdosed on her medication and spent 3 days in a coma because she thought it was a safer alternative to being killed and eaten by me. A time traveler.
Oh.
Well, you shouldn't give away that you're a time traveler to someone who's not. Not everyone takes it well. I mean, the guy time travels. What else is he capable of?
He never said that he wasn't a cannibalistic time traveler.
Bitch fucked me in the ass with a strap on while I was sleeping in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's rape.
Had a girl who would always try and stick her fingers in my butt during sex despite me being very clear that I did not want that. Started to feel a little violating and she didn't understand why I became increasingly less willing to be intimate.
Username checks. I was the psycho, actually, in the sense that I had a literal manic psychosis and I was my poor ex's first serious relationship. Bipolar disorder at full blast is not pretty. I really hope I didn't scar her too much. We're still friends to this day, but I know I have a big disclaimer to announce if I get serious with someone again.
Glad you're doing better, man. That's some rough stuff to deal with.
I'm male and she hit me on a regular basis. Love makes you not see the bad sides and just shove stuff off. I finally saw that I needed to get out when I was crying one day on the floor. Damn, I've come a long way since then. Edit. It's so nice that this comment has got others speaking out. Closing parenthesis.
My ex once memorized my Facebook password and then logged in, going through my old messages until he found one where I had picked up an older conversation with one of my male coworkers. He then proceeded to pretend to be me and hit on this guy, eventually taking it so far as to plan a time and place for us to fuck. Then he texted me asking what these messages were about and why I was cheating on him. I was so confused initially I didn't realize it was him who had hacked me. I just pleaded my innocence and begged his forgiveness because I had no idea where the messages were coming from. Eventually he told me that he was the one coercing my coworker for sex and that somehow because my coworker agreed that clearly meant we had fucked before. I have no idea what his thought process was through all of this. But I stupidly stayed with him for a while after that. And it did permanently wreck the friendship I had with my coworker. Edit. Since you guys liked that story so much, here's another good one for you. My ex was a little bi-curious about other men, and I wanted to indulge his fantasies. So we had a threesome with another guy one night. Nothing was supposed to be off limits, except maybe anal and things like choking. The threesome goes kind of as planned. A little awkward and no one came, but whatever. It was our first time. Fast forward to the next time we had an argument. He brings up the threesome and he's just furious at me. He looks at me with disgust in his eyes and says condescendingly, I can't believe you did that. What did I do? I was kissing the other guy. While he was sucking this guy's dick, the threesome was basically for him and he turned it around on me like I was such a slut for kissing the guy? Exclamation mark. Question mark. Exclamation mark. Question mark. Exclamation mark. Question mark. Exclamation mark. What? Dot.
Wanted me to text him my work schedule and then would call me on the work phone and wait in the parking lot for me to come out of work. Wanted to know how much was in each paycheck. One time I texted him my work schedule and he misread it and freaked out non-stop for 6 hours searching for me, called my whole family and was about to alert the police. It was his own fault, he misread what I had texted him. I broke up with him in public because he would not believe it when I broke up with him in private. It was finally to the point where random people who were nearby were like, you just got dumped. Dot.
I can hear him now. No, I have to accept the breakup. Right? Otherwise it doesn't count. Right? Quote. Dot.
When he told me, had been dating this guy a while and I thought things were going really well. I'll never forget the day because he took me to see Aladdin. We get back to my place and everything's normal. We're conversing and suddenly he gets this weird look in his eyes. He says, I can't see you anymore. I'm afraid I might hurt you. I'm thinking hurt, like cheat on me. You know, psychologically. I kind of laughed and told him not to worry, I was a grown-up and whatever happened we could try and work it out. His voice changed and he looked even worse and said, "You don't understand. I've been having these dreams where I hurt you. I mean really hurt you." Then, he jumped off the couch and ran out the front door. Never saw him again. Never tried to call him cause it really shook me up. I guess I should be glad it stopped there. He just seemed so normal up to that point.
This is honestly just incredibly sad.
I had my eyes closed once while we were having sex and he was rubbing my clit with something. He asked, "Do you know what that is?" I looked down and it was the handle of his knife.
I had a GF pull a knife she stashed under her couch because we would fuck on her living room floor a lot. I went from fully hard to soft and turtled in record time. She said she wanted to taste my blood. Just said she wanted to cut my stomach area a little bit.
No.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and above all, have an excellent day you amazing people.